Hello and welcome back to the channel. So we've got a few days of pretty cold weather coming down from the north here in the UK. So I thought it would be a good opportunity to test out some equipment that I got sent a good few months ago now from Pomoly. So I'll give you a closer look. Okay, so we've got a Pomoly dweller stove here and the Pomoly Hex Plus tent. So this is all kind of car camping equipment. It's not your lightweight backpacking hot tent setup. So I'll just give you a look at the stove before I conduct the initial burn. I'm just going to get it going for half an hour before I put it in the tent, just to burn off any residue that might be left over from the factory. As you can see, it's a glass fronted wood burner. You've got all the flue fits in there. It's made out of 304 stainless steel. You've got an air vent underneath here which you can control. There's also one on the top of the door. I'm guessing that's to draw air in to keep the glass clean. And yeah, it looks like a really high quality little unit. It's going to be getting cold tonight, so I'm pretty sure that this is going to keep me warm. Seems to be well made. So yeah, I'm going to get a move on actually and get some wood and get this thing burning. So I've got the stove set up. I'll just give you a look at a few other features. It does have a removable ashtray, and it comes with a ring like this to secure the flue. And I'm not entirely sure what this is, but I'm guessing it's probably just a fire poker. So I'm going to take these out. Might not need to secure the flue. In the woodlands it doesn't tend to get that windy beneath the trees. So I'll open up that air vent. I'll get some wood in and get it lit. So let's have a look at the tent. So I've just taken out the inner tent here, and seems to be a cap at the top of the teepee. Then in here we have a bag of pegs. I'll give you a look at these actually because they look pretty interesting. They look decent enough. You often get naff pegs with tents these days, but they look like they might do the job here. We've got the pole system, and then we've got the tent itself, which is made out of I think it's 300 denier Oxford polyester, and it's got a reflective inside. So I've just put the pole together, and it comes with an extra pole here, and I think you use that to kind of adjust the height. I'll just show you there's a little push button, so we'll go in at the highest height and see how that works out. So I've been on for about 20 minutes now trying to pitch this, and you can just see that there's lots of slack on the sides, and I just can't seem to tension it with the peg points. But I'm hoping that once I peg these out, it might start to take some shape. So I've pegged out all the guy lines, and it's definitely taken up a bit of the slack. I think one of the main problems here is I'm actually pitched on a bit of a slant, so it's probably not going to be a perfect pitch. I think if I was on some nice flat ground it would tighten up much better, but it is what it is. Don't think I've ever spent so long putting a tent up. I think that's just about as good as I'm going to get it. So I'm going to get the wood burner in and then see if I can erect the inner tent. So the tent comes with a proper flue outlet, which is handy. I've bought one Tigress tent in the past, and you have to buy these separately. Well, that's the inner done. The stove's in there, and everything's looking good now. It's the first time I've pitched this tent, so I'll be able to pitch it quicker next time I use it. There's just a few quirky things, things you need to remember, like kind of getting that cap on and connecting the inner if you're using it before you put the pole up. That would make life easier. But now that the inner's up, it's a 2-person inner. You could possibly even fit 3 people in there. Perfect for use in the summer if you want to keep the bugs out. But yeah, I think now it's time to get the rest of the gear in, and then I'm going to have to chop some wood before it gets dark. So the sun is setting over there. It looks fantastic. But when that sun sets, the temperature's gonna drop significantly. I think it's been about 3 degrees most of the afternoon. At sunset it's 0, and then it's due to get down to -3, -4, with a feels like temperature of -6, whatever that means. But I'm pretty sure I'll be warm enough. I've got a good stash of wood in the tent there, and that little dweller stove, it's got the firebox size holds 15.9 litres, which is, I think it's probably on par with the size of the wood burner I have in the woodland shed, and you know, that heats that entire place up all night long, so I'm pretty confident that I'll be warm enough tonight. But I'm just going to go and gather a load of twigs to start the fire, and also to keep the fire burning if it kind of dampens out during the night. And then I might have to open a beer actually, because it's thirsty work, all this stuff. I'll just give you a look inside to see if you can get an idea of the space in here. I haven't quite put my chair in yet, but you'll easily get 2 chairs in here with the wood burner, and you've got the net, the inner up the side there, which you can't really see. But if you took that out, you'd easily get four chairs in here. That's all the wood I've got for this evening, but I think that'll easily keep me warm throughout the night. I've got a table over there with me dinner and stuff on, so there is quite a bit of room. I'll put the links to the products under the video, so you can go and check the weights, the sizes, you know, the specs of both the burner and the tent. I haven't really had time to kind of go through anything like that, so yeah, you can check that out. Price wise, I think the tent retails on the Pomoly website for around £257, but I did find it on Amazon for £189, so that's not too bad for a decent quality TP. The material's fairly good. The guy lines all seem to be of good quality as well. The pole's good quality, so can't really complain too much about the price. I think the stove is around 370 or 380, and again, it seems to be high quality, perfect for canoe camping or car camping. But I'll update you again in the morning after I've used it all night. Well, it's almost dark, and the temperature's dropped significantly over the last 10 minutes. I'm struggling to hold this beer. But I've just remembered I've got a carbon monoxide detector in the shed, which is all the way over there in that part of the woods. I'm going to go and get it actually. I meant to get it earlier on. I think it's always a good idea to invest in one of those when you're using a hot tent, or any tent with a stove in really, just to err on the side of caution. Well folks, it's 5 o'clock. Telling you man, this is going to be a long night. But I'm going to get the fire on. It's pretty cold now. Probably about freezing, if not just below. So we've got dinner on. We've got the old Sainsbury's chicken jalfrezi curry from a tin. Once the curry's warmed up, I've got some M&S basmati rice, which I'll just dump straight into the curry, and I'll heat that up as well. a little bit spicy. Oh, it's nice though. It's spicy. Alright folks. Can you hear that barking? Oh, the mic's picking that up. I've mentioned before that we had something walking around the perimeter of the shed, which is over there barking, but I've just turned the camera on now. I mean, that is loud. Morning. So that was it was a peaceful night. I think I went to sleep around 10:30, 11 and I woke up at 7, so yep, solid sleep, but it's freezing. Oh, absolutely freezing. When I woke up, all this side of the tent was frozen on the inside. This side with the inner is fine. There is a vent on the floor. I don't know if that helped with the condensation. But I've had the wood burner on now for about half an hour. It seems to be melting the ice. But you're always going to get condensation with a single skin tent. Especially one that's not very breathable like this. You get all the moisture coming up from the ground as well if you don't have a ground sheet. But it's no real issue. I opened the door earlier on. I thought, oh, I'll have a look at the forest. But it was so cold, the cold just came creeping in, so I've just zipped it back up now and I'm just enjoying the heat from the fire. Got a coffee on the go, so I think I'm just going to put my feet up for an hour before I think about getting packed up. So I've packed all my gear away. There's just the tent and the stove to dismantle. But the sun's just come up there and it's actually shining into the tent, so I'm going to give you a look at the inner. Hopefully you'll be able to see a bit better with a bit more light. I'm not sure how well you can see the inner, it's just so dark in the tent. But I've just got the door open here to give you an idea of the size of the door. So that's pretty large. You can tie it back. There's a couple of tie back points here, so you don't have to be crawling around on your hands and knees with this inner tent. It's tall enough to stand up in to get dressed. Easy enough room for 2 adults. And there's also a little zipped mesh door at the other end where you can roll that down to let airflow through or what have you, because there is a little vent on that side. So yeah, it's comfortable. I was comfortable in there last night. It's yeah, pretty impressive tent, I have to say. And the material is nice and thick. I was just checking to see if I've got any hot rocks falling, but there's no burn holes. Don't know if you can make out just the level of soot there. I'll just give you a look at the level of soot build-up in the flue. Hopefully you can see that. This is from just where the stove was coming out of the tent, so hell of a build-up there, mind. So you've got to remember to clean the flue out after you've used it every night. It's just kind of like just coming out if I do that, really. On my Frontier stove, what I'd done was I get a tea towel and I tie a bit of string around the middle of it, and I just pull it through the pipes, and that tends to do a good job. But these are small enough that, you know, you probably just get a cloth in there and just clean them up completely. It's just something worth bearing in mind. So when I turned in last night, the glass was perfectly clear, but it seems to have sooted up when I've been using it this morning. But the good thing is the door just comes off like that, so you can take it off and just give it a proper clean. So that's a handy feature. Plenty of ash in the tray there. One thing I did find actually when I was using this last night, that the damper was becoming stiff when the fire was really hot. So what I might do is just get a little bit of copper grease on there, just so it moves smoothly when the fire's on. Well folks, that's me done, so I'm all packed up and ready to go. So as ever, thanks for watching the video. I'll catch up with you again in the next one.